Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Three Amigos Podcast with our very special guest, Amanda Perez, right here. Amanda Perez, welcome to the show. Amanda Perez right here in the house, all the way from Fort Wayne, Indiana, in the house. We got my good compadres, Mr. Oliver and Mr. Caesar. And how do you guys feel? Excited about one of our great artists that went out of town with us, went to Chicago. We went to
El Paso.
Man, we went everywhere.
San Diego,
yes.
Austin.
And I have to say right away, you have so many fans all across the country, and you don't just have fans, you have diehard fans. I mean, how many times did we see in the front stage, they know every word, and people are literally crying. They love you that much. Is that hard getting used to, that people look up to you that much?
No, it's a blessing. It's a blessing to have that. You know, it's always been a dream of mine to be where I'm at today, and to have the fans love me so much, like, it's everything.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Now, I was looking at the Wikipedia. Sometimes Wikipedia lies, you know what I'm saying? But you grew up in Fort Wayne, Indiana. We all know that being true. But we also seen that you didn't just grow up in Fort Wayne, Indiana, but you grew up on the rough side, and it says that you actually had to sell drugs to make a living back in those days.
Yeah, it really wasn't a living. It was just, you know, me being young, and the streets kind of had a hold of me, and easy money, and I decided, like, this wasn't for me. I decided to do music, and, you know, that's just the plans that I had, so, you know, I got out of that. But yeah, it was just something that I had in my life that I did.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we were all there at one time, Chicago.
He's like, don't put me in that category. I got kids.
He was part of the Latin Kings in Chicago.
No, I grew up in Chicago. I'm from Elmhurst, Illinois.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I grew up in Broadview, Maywood.
Amanda, let me interrupt you. We went. No. We went to his hood, and we thought it was going to be hood, and we thought we were going to have to take cover. Man, that was not no damn
suburbs.
hood. It was the Red
It was the bird. I'm over here telling them about disciples and vice lords.
Exactly.
And
There was none of that
they don't know
happening.
about that stuff. Yeah, that's a Midwest.
Definitely a studio gangster.
Wow.
Yeah,
but it's always.
I did grow up in the hood, and then, you know, things happened, and
Yeah.
you know, but I changed it all.
So how did you, were you born in Indiana?
Born and raised.
So how does your family end up in Indiana? Like,
My dad's family, they came from Texas.
Okay.
You know, we have a lot of family in Mexico, but my dad's from Texas. And my mom she's from Michigan, but was raised in California.
oh, wow.
And they came back to the Midwest, met each other at a baile, and that was it.
Wow. That is something.
Here I was, you know.
A lot of people back in those days, like even similar story with my family is they're from Texas and from Mexico, but they would do the crops and everything during the summer. Agricultural. And then in the wintertime, go to Chicago, or during the summer, go to Chicago
my parents
to work in the factories.
Yeah, they would call them fil. Nos fuimos al fil.
Hay que trabajar la pizca.
Yeah.
And they get paid really good up north, because up north, vamos por el norte, pagan bien.
Yeah, but that's when my dad came from Texas. He came to work in the fields in Michigan. And then he met my mom.
Nice.
Wow. When did you find out that you had this incredible voice?
I was young.
Was it in the bathtub? Well, you know, you always sound better in the bathtub.
Technically, you're still young, right?
Yeah.
Of course you are.
No,
yes.
I'm saying, like, as a little girl, like, I would start singing, and I noticed, like, that I sounded different than everybody else. I didn't sound like the regular, you know, little girl, you know. And I just started, like, playing with it, and of course my uncles and them are, you know, from La Sombra, and they had, you know, concerts.
Oh, Tony Guerrero?
No, La Sombra Chicana.
Oh.
I know all of them.
Okay.
I know all of them because they're from Chicago.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just saying, like, these are my uncles, and they all perform. So I grew up in that. Like,
Man, they were like, mija sabe cantar, hombre.
they would throw me on intermissions.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
And were you always doing English, or did you also do Spanish as well?
No, it was English. So intermission was for the young kids.
I see.
You never got to play
I did sing in Spanish, yes, and I have played the accordion. I do play that.
Oh, wow.
You ever get to play in El Aragon Ballroom?
No.
You ever heard of that one in Chicago? It's a big ballroom.
No.
Okay.
So good memories. He's like,
Poor guy. He's left there like 35 years ago, and he's still there.
That was like the only place that Mexican groups would ever play in Chicago.
Yeah.
It was El Aragon Ballroom was the only place you'd go.
Oliver, you didn't leave Elmhurst, dude. Stop.
I don't see that much anymore. Only at like arenas you see like
the Mexican
Tejano music playing
everything.
and all that.
Yeah.
But I'm used to bailes growing up.
It's where his mom and dad first kissed, and if they wouldn't have kissed, he wouldn't have been born. Kind of like Back to the Future. You know what I'm saying? But that's all right. Now we did go to Chicago. We were thinking we were going to be in the hood, and I made sure I didn't wear the red colors. And it was like a very nice neighborhood, and I was like, you are lying.
You know what was even funny about that experience is that I found a restaurant to go eat in the south side of Chicago, right? And I find it on freaking Google, like the oldest restaurant in Chicago. And we go there, and Oliver's like, I've never been here. We need to be very careful. I've never been in here.
Well, you can't be there at nighttime.
And I'm like, dude.
It can be dangerous. I literally went there, like, in Little Mexico is what they call it.
Yeah, Little Mexico, too.
I went there, and, of course, if they don't know me, they don't know me. So they see me tattooed up. Driving a nice car, and they're like throwing up gang signs. I'm like, I will run you motherfuckers over. Like, I'm from here too. I will run you over, bro.
Damn.
No, but they will. They'll make these whistles. It takes one whistle, and the whole neighborhood will know what's up.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and they'll just come after you.
Wow.
You know, one dude went like this to me, and then a bunch came out the house, and I'm like, try it. You know what I mean? But no, it can be bad. They will kill you.
Wow.
And you guys never thought about this, but you know the two most famous people that I know that came out of Fort Worth, Indiana is
Fort
Wayne, Indiana is Amanda Perez and Michael Jackson.
Yeah, he came from Gary.
Gary.
Gary, it's still the same. It's down the street.
Still Indiana.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
A brand new house there for like $15,000 right now. It's
you're gonna disrespect Indiana like that?
Yeah.
I literally bought a house for like $8,000 and sold it for $70,000.
Really?
Nice flip.
It's
That's great. So going back to your when you were first starting out as a young, well, I guess this is a child, like when you started noticing your gift at that point, you know, you start getting the support obviously of your family and whatnot. But how do you decide the genre of music that you want to go into, and how do you decide who's going to produce it? How do you get into the studio at this point?
You know, growing up, I wrote and produced. Even my albums, every album that came out, I wrote and produced. Candy Kisses wrote and produced. Angel wrote and produced. Never wrote and produced. I Pray wrote and produced. I Like It wrote and produced. Every song I wrote and produced.
Wow. What influenced those lyrics?
Personal experiences.
Oh, okay.
Or, you know, growing up, of course, I wasn't in love or anything like that. So I remember being like 10, 11 years old, writing my first love song. And it was because I heard one of my cousins going through some stuff. So I kind of started writing about it, and that's how it all started.
So you started writing that young?
I started writing at 11.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I started playing at 11. Started playing the drums first, 9 years old. And then I started with the keyboard at 11. Then the accordion at 13. Then the bass guitar at 13. My family kind of just kept giving me instruments just to see. And I don't know any instrument. I don't know any notes that I'm playing.
You just know how to play them.
Just got a good ear.
Yeah, for sure.
So I've always been that way. I started singing very little. So my mom said about 4 or 5 years old. And then I started, knowing at like 5, 6 years old. And then when I hit 11 years old, my voice changed.
Sure.
So I started learning myself. And then I was like freaking out in my bedroom. Like literally I say it in one of my songs, like stayed in my room 24/7. I did. That's exactly what I did from the moment I got out of school till the time I went to sleep.
Wow. Were you a good student?
Absolutely not. No, I'm just playing. Till I got into high school.
Sure.
It was different. It was like, I'm not doing this.
I mean, because you sound pretty creative at this point. You're writing music.
All I wanted was music.
And
but usually people who are creative like that, sometimes they're not academically. It bores them, and they go back to the creative side of their brain.
I was just talking about it today. Like I had no classes at the end of the year. I was just in a room, and I was like, "What am I doing here?" Like.
Yeah, but she has great grammar, literacy, all those
writing. Well, writing and all that, but they get boring. They get bored of it.
I just knew that I felt like school was going to be for like a certain career, and that career wasn't for me.
I see.
I felt like I was wasting time, and the only part that I wanted to learn was the money part.
Gotcha.
So if you're not going to teach me the money part, I could care less about it.
So you get into the studio at what age for the first time?
First time I got in the studio, I was 12.
Oh, wow.
Gosh.
I was 12 years old, and I recorded. And my parents were so excited, and I just was like, I want to do this,
And what song was this?
It was a Mariah Carey song. I still have it.
Okay.
See, I was one of those kids who I knew I was going to be famous. So I recorded everything. I recorded me playing, acting like I was a radio station. I recorded every song. I actually did Angel when I was like 15, 16 years old.
Okay.
Wow.
So I redid it when I got a deal. They heard what I had made. So then I redid it in the studio myself.
You have to be like really heartbroken to sing that song. But you were 15.
Crazy? It was because I was like young. I didn't like. I wanted to love. You know.
Yeah. I mean, you're right.
And it seems like like I was on a different level than the people that I was with,
sure.
love wise. So when you have a love like mine, and then you have people that don't understand that, and then you don't have it, like it hurts. You know what I mean? It's like, why would you not want this?
And then back then was a different dynamic too with remember like late Jim Evans would I love dedications, and then everybody would they would do the radio dedications.
It was the perfect timing for my hurting. You know what I mean? But
well, I'm sorry. Your lady is over there looking at me like, why you got to bring up the past? Always got to bring up the past.
No. She's
just asking a question. Just asking a question. She's looking at me like, I will cut your ass.
Why are you trying to cut your ass? Why are you starting stuff?
She's looking at me. These California people, I'm telling you. No, I'm just kidding. No, that's not true.
No, but it was just like, you know what I mean? It was one of those things where I didn't know how to control my feelings as a kid. And so I was just like, I knew that I couldn't ask nobody because I'm just like, I don't know if it was a pride thing, you know, being young or whatever, but I had to handle it myself. Like, I was just like, I'm not, you know what I mean? So I was like, God, who could I ask other than God to help me?
Sure.
You know what I mean? And that's how it went. I never would have thought that it would do this.
Wow. Yeah. Yes. And at this point, once you get into the studio, like, how do you? I mean, I'm sure you're nervous. You're kind of questioning. And you signed your first deal at this point. Or?
Yeah, I got. I just turned 21 years old when I got my first independent deal, which was a partnership first. So the thing is there was a gentleman who was very important in the industry, and he came and he had somebody that was supposed to come to Fort Wayne to sign a rock group. Well, they got taken. So he's there, and he's like, I'm bored. And long story short, he was talking to my sister-in-law, and he liked R&B hip-hop, and the boss, which was the guy who had him go there, he was just like, you know, it's time to come home. He was like, well, I got something to show you. I got a girl that I found. You know what I mean? And here I am today.
Wow. And that's when
He told me, he said, give me 3 months, and I'll give you a major record deal. That's exactly what happened.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's not when you met P. Diddy, right? No?
No.
Okay, all right. We just want to make sure.
Him. But you know what's crazy is that at first, before I got a record deal, there was a guy that came to Indiana, and I don't remember his name, but he was very close to Diddy. And Diddy wanted to sign me.
What?
But he wanted me to fly out to him. And I said, no, absolutely not.
I believe that.
I didn't know that as a kid. Absolutely not. God. You want me? You come bring me out.
Wow.
So as you get this deal, what do you're finally, getting out there in the world, and who's the first famous person that you meet out in the...
Oh my God, the first famous person? You know, it's crazy, you guys, because the song hit so fast that I was just with everybody fast.
Okay.
So the concert that I did first, it was All for One, and then I did the next one, which was Usher, me, Busta Rhymes. God, it was everybody. Missy Elliott. Like, it was that quick.
That's crazy.
And it happened so fast. Within 3 months, I was already like top 5
in there.
phones.
Wow.
#1 requested everywhere. You know what I mean? And it was crazy. Like, I would be on the road. I remember being on the bus, and I remember having the radio on. And everywhere I went, my song was on the radio stations.
How was that feeling?
I cried a lot.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I cried a lot. I was like, this is crazy. This can't be me. You know what I mean? Everywhere. It didn't matter. I'm a crossover artist, and I don't know if a lot of people understand that. Like, I crossed over to pop. That's major. I have a few top 10s and the number 3 top Billboard 100.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's amazing. And to be Latina, you know what I mean? And
for sure.
You know what I mean? It means a lot. So, like, for me to go in these places and hear me on R&B stations and hip-hop stations and pop stations with Jessica Simpson, Lisa Marie Presley, like all these people, like, it was amazing to me.
Wow.
You know what I mean? To be in that that position.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's a great position to be in.
Yeah, for sure.
And and how does it feel now that these younger Latina artists that are coming up and coming, and they look up to you and they're asking you for collabs and to support them and stuff? How does that feel, like that you're doing that mentorship? How do you feel about that?
It feels good. It feels really good to know that I impacted somebody like that. And that they feel like, you know what I mean, that I'm that special. Mm-hmm. So, I always tell girls that come into the industry, always be strong, stay firm on what you believe, and never let anybody think that you're less than what you are. Especially the men in this industry. No offense, but the men in this industry think that you're beneath them because you're a female and you're a man. You know what I mean? And it's not that way. Because I can guarantee you that when I go on stage, I tear a lot of fucking men's hearts out and their minds mentally, because they think to themselves like, God damn, she's putting on a show. And I'm here to do that. Yeah, I'm here to show them like this ain't that.
No, everywhere we've had you this past couple years that you've been on our tours and our shows, everybody's always said you've torn up the stage. Your show is incredible. Your voice is incredible. The energy that you bring to the stage, is incredible. We had some good times out there, especially
definitely
Oklahoma.
Oh my God, yes.
Oklahoma City.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like being a little girl and having a dream. You have this image of yourself, and you learn along the way how to present that, to perform and to do all that. So when I go on stage, my goal is to show people why I'm there. Why am I Amanda Perez? Why I'm on the stage with all these people? Why? Why do I deserve it? And this is why. Yeah. I come to put on a show. I don't want you to come to a show and sit here and be bored. I want you to listen to every word and know that when I sing every word, I mean it from my soul. These impacted my life. This is my stories. Yeah. So when I go to sing them, I sing them with passion. You know what I mean?
How do you know when a song is finished? Like when you're producing a song, how do you know like that's the cherry on top?
When it's catchy. Like when I know that I've hit something. When, like with Angel, the hook is catchy for one, and it gives you feeling. Yeah. And that's how I know. A lot of the times, I don't really usually tell a lot of people this, but when I'm writing and I'm producing, I get emotional. I get emotional because I sit here and I think to myself, like, how can I be so blessed by God? Like, how is this? So when I do these songs and I'm singing and I'm like, that's it. That's it.
Just feel it.
Drop.
And then I couldn't find a hotel. I had forgotten to rent a hotel room for myself, for me and my kids, and we're running around everywhere trying to find somewhere to sleep like at 3, 4 in the morning.
Damn, I've been to that shit. No, one thing I don't play about my woman. I don't give a fuck who I am. You touch her, I don't fuck around. I don't know if people know this. I'm a Summit City boxing golden glove. Like I was a boxer before I was a singer. Mm-hmm. You understand? And I made this for 1, where I grew up, 2, I'm short, 3, I'm a female. 4, I'm gay. So if I can whoop a nigga's ass, it's funny to me. You understand? We went to the club and she was drinking, went to the restroom, and I see this. He put his arm, I said, boy, my fire went in my eyes like,
or the bouncer was following her, right? The bouncer followed her.
I pushed him so hard, he slid on his shoulders to the other door. He like this. He got up, he was like, I said, motherfucker, put your hands on her again. Then security comes. There, 5 of them still couldn't hold me down. I was like, dude, listen, I'm crazy. Especially about my woman. Don't put your fucking hands on her.
I wish we would have recorded all of that. That would have been even better.
You should have. It would have made shit even more funner.
But my daughter didn't blame you. When my daughter met you, that was the first time meeting you. Yeah, she was like, nah, that wasn't right. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Don't fucking do it. Fucking do like, how you going to come up on a girl and try to put...
Yeah, no. I mean, I had the same situation in Chicago with my daughter. I took my daughter. And I had these grown ass men trying to talk to her. She's 14 years old.
Yeah.
I had to check them real
quick.
We
were in the VIP section. Nobody was supposed to be there.
No, but still, they just need to know, like, some of these guys, they ain't got no respect. Yeah. But either does the girl, so They don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Not with mine, bro. You better watch out who's behind her, bro. Because you might get one to the fucking forehead right here. Like, I don't play that shit.
So she's the box.
Yeah.
No, I saw that on the Wikipedia, man. It's crazy.
There's a lot of good boxing coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
Three matches, right? Three.
I started
Garcia.
in the streets. They see me fighting in the streets. I was fighting some boy.
Are you a boxing fan at all?
It's crazy because I don't even watch boxing. I watch it, but I'm not like, oh, fucking.
Yeah, gung-ho about it.
I don't, you know what I mean?
You just create your own boxing match.
Yeah. No, I just, yeah, right?
Yeah.
No, I just, it's come from the streets.
I hear you.
Just where I grew up,
Ready to
Yeah.
defend yours.
Yeah. I was just surprised my parents let me. My mother didn't want me to at all. She was like, absolutely not. I don't want your hands to get broken. I don't want your face to get messed up. My dad's seen a couple of my fights.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came. He was the only one. My mom couldn't see it. But
Do you have siblings?
Yes.
How many siblings you have?
I have 3. There's 5 of us total.
5. You in the middle, youngest, oldest?
Yeah, I'm the baby.
Oh, are you? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm the baby.
You're the spoiled one.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Well, yeah, sometimes.
So we have to ask you a couple of questions. You've toured all around the world. But as far as your favorite food, what is your favorite food? Is it Mexican? Is it Italian? Barbecue?
I'm pretty simple. I like pizza.
Pizza.
Yeah.
So out of all the places you've eaten in the country, where do they sell the best pizza?
Chicago.
Yeah.
Well, he took us somewhere, and my gosh, in Chicago. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't known for a pizza place. It wasn't some suburb place.
You have to go to the right one.
Yeah, you gotta
it has
go to
to
the
be
right
a real
one.
Chicago pizza.
Yeah, we didn't go to.
Yeah, this
we
was
didn't.
more bread than anything.
I'm not talking about Domino's and Papa John's.
Yeah, we went to some place. It was on the Naperville or something, and it wasn't a good pizza place.
So
I feel like the real Chicago pizza is the thick one. It's real thick with all the sauces, but.
And as far as all the places that you've gone to around the world, what's been the most exciting place? City, country?
I haven't even been out the country. I was just too fucking scared to do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I need to do it now.
Let's go to Guadalajara.
Oh yeah, no, those places, Guadalajara. That's right.
I know some people out there.
I
You wanna get
scared
shot?
somebody. Like I'm big in England.
Are you?
I'm big in England. I'm big overseas. I just haven't went yet. You know what I mean?
Why?
I was scared. I was scared to fly over there. People don't know this, but I've always been scared to fly.
Oh,
now I'm cool. But it took a moment because I took like 10 years from flying because a plane of mine was gonna go down.
Wow.
So that gave you, that traumatized you.
Oh no.
But I didn't fly for 10 years.
And that's like I went last year, and that's about a 10-hour flight. So that's a lot of time up in the air.
Yeah, well, I was getting ready to land in Indiana, and the plane just was like swaying and dropping, and
No.
it was bad. And then there was like, we're gonna need to do an emergency landing. And when I heard those propellers stop and the plane go down, I was texting my family, and I was just like, I love you guys so much.
Damn.
You know what I mean? And I remember gripping onto my friend's hand. We were holding each other's hands so much that when we let loose, we could see our fingerprints in our hands. And I kept praying to God, and I was like, you know what, God, this is not the way I want to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, I have so much more that I need to do, and that was it. We did an emergency landing.
Was this like one of those like American Eagle flights or whatever?
The prop planes.
Well, we don't have
No. It was a regular. It was United, and it was called a mechanical burst. And I guess that when you're up in the air, it has like it stops all your power in your planes. There's no, you can't find it. I think that's why a lot of people, when they're in storms and you lose all that, the ships and all that, because it's because of those things, like a mechanical burst in the air. Like it just shuts everything down.
Damn.
It was the most scariest thing I've ever experienced in my life, but now I know that God's not going to take me that way. He's going to take me that way. Then I'm not trying to boat either, because fuck that.
Yeah.
No, hell no. But yeah, no, it was scary. I thought that was it for me.
Wow.
I thought it was.
Those are the types of moments that you come out of appreciating life and how privileged we are.
Yeah, it was. I definitely thought that was it for me.
Yeah.
You know, all the stars always pass away that way. You know what I mean? And I just was like, I don't want it to be like that.
Yeah.
A lot of great musical stars.
Yeah, no, I get it.
They all do.
And moving to happier moments, and then you have a son.
Yeah.
Tell us about your son. He's 5 years old or 6?
Yeah.
Sebastian.
Sebastian.
Yeah, you guys have been around him a lot of the time.
Yes.
He likes shrimp and steak.
Yeah, he does. He grew up in this life, and I love it how you guys all know him, and you know what I mean. But
I remember when we got you last year. I was trying to be nice and hospitable, and I have kids and I got grandkids, and I'm like, you know what? I told Caesar, I'm gonna get her son some Chick-fil-A or some nuggets. I get him some nuggets, get him some fries, get him some juice boxes, and the kid comes in and he's like, but he didn't tell me. He's like, no, Mom, I don't want that. I want steak and shrimp. And I was like, damn.
Oh, gosh.
And I was like, okay, well, we can get it for you. How would you like it?
Good life.
Medium rare. And Amanda's like, no. Just don't pay attention to him. He's fine.
He's the fucking Chick-fil-A.
That mama little boy right there.
No, that's how he is. He's that way. He's a funny kid.
Yeah, that was funny.
Got a good personality.
That was funny because he's like 4 years old.
He's been doing. It's crazy because I was watching videos on my phone, and he's like 2 or 3 years old. I'm like, even then he was something else.
Yeah.
He had the drumstick. I was watching him. I was at a concert, and he put the drumstick between his leg, and he was riding it like a horse, and then he whacked somebody with it. I was like, oh my God, that's definitely. It's always been him. But he's doing good.
That's great.
And the way he dresses, I mean, where does he get this swag? He got some Jordans, and he got the little baby Jordans and everything. I was like, wow.
Well, I always, told myself, like, if I look good, my kids have to look good. Even when I don't look good, they should look good.
Yeah.
And he's my son, and he represents me, and any of my kids that are with me, that's how it will be. You know what I mean? Yeah. You're a representation of me.
Sure.
And I shouldn't just look good. You should too.
Yeah, for sure.
And speaking of that, Amanda, is there anything you would like to tell yourself or anyone out there 10 years from now, or you were to see this, what would you tell the people out there?
Or yourself?
Myself?
Mm-hmm.
Don't let nobody take advantage of you. Never give anybody power over you to control you. Do your thing and be yourself.
Nice words.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been great, guys, to have Amanda Perez here. Make sure you follow her. She's all over social media, of course, Instagram. And is there anything you want to plug? I know that the last time you had your own.
I got a song out called Nobody. Make sure you guys check that out. That's the latest one. Again, working on this song with Lefty Gunplay. Look out for the video. Also working on a new EP. Got some good things coming out, y'all.
Nice.
Super excited.
We love that.
Sure. Are you going to be going on tour with Lefty?
That's in the works, yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay. That's awesome.
Excited about that.
Well, in honor of you doing that with Lefty, we're all gonna get
crazy
tattoos like Lefty.
Oh. I thought you said we were gonna get.
I already got the grill.
Yeah.
Did you hear about him getting a grill?
No, but I hope he wears it in the keychain.
Yes.
Johnny Dang.
Johnny Dang gave you one.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's a midlife crisis. He was gonna get a tattoo, buy a motorcycle, or get a grill. So he got the grill. Yeah.
Actually, it was a gift to my daughters. I got my daughter one, and then I just impulsively went and got one myself.
That's good though.
You talked him into.
That's dope though.
And me and Oliver, we're gonna get our nipples pierced. So
Johnny Dang, he's gonna get you guys diamond.
You're gonna get a little diamond.
They'll be diamond boys.
I'm not kidding.
All right, man. Well, listen, I want to thank you for joining us.
Yes.
And yes, we are very, very happy. You don't do many podcasts or any at all, so we're very fortunate. And I just like to say God bless you and your career and everything that you do. Ladies and gentlemen, the wonderful, the very talented Amanda Perez.
Thank you,
guys.
And I appreciate you guys too. I've known you guys for a while now. I've done a lot of events with you guys, and you guys have always treated me with love and respect, and always accommodated me as accordingly. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you for that.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Amanda Perez.
All right.
All right.